I'm here again with Esther Stanhope, award-winning author. You've got your book, Esther,
I
haven't
just
you?
did jazz hands. I don't ever do that. Never do that on video. Yeah, I'm an award-winning author,
That's
as
mine.
is Lee Warren.
Mine as
Thank you.
well. But also a brilliant speaker, brilliant presenter, one of my favorite people.
And you
So,
too, Lee.
bless you. So the top tip, this little tip is about feeling confident, feeling ready to go. You know, what does it take so that you come across at your best the minute that virtual meeting starts? And the top tip in one quick phrase is give it more time than you expect. Right, give yourself more time than you expect to get ready. That's the top line tip.
Absolutely. And how many times
What do you do, Esther? Sorry?
Well, it's just saying that, give yourself more time, because actually, how many times have you gone to a remote meeting, pressed the link, and it hasn't quite clicked in, and then you're flustered? How many times have you done that? I've done it quite a few times where I've ended up being flustered, even though I had that 4 or 5 minutes or 3 minutes, and I thought, oh yeah, I've got, Microsoft Teams or Powwow or whatever. You click on it, and suddenly the software needs an update or something. It always takes extra time. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we could probably talk for hours and hours and hours about how to sort of perfectly feel confident. So I think there's two separate things. I think there's the tech side of it. And I think you need to be 100% confident about that, first of all. And for me, that's down to a checklist. So I literally have a checklist. These are the things I need to do. And that checklist includes things like, because it's my job to be a presenter. So on my desk, I've always got my laptop, my iPad, and my phone. So I've got 3 different ways of accessing that meeting, and they're in that order. So I always try the laptop first. If for whatever reason, the software suddenly decides to update or whatever, I go to the iPad. And if that doesn't even work, I then go to the phone on a tripod. My checklist also includes, when it's something like a virtual keynote or meeting, I restart the computer about an hour before the meeting, just so it's all the memory stuff is free. And if there are any software updates, they're going to come in then. I close everything except the presenting software that's connected to the internet. So I close email, web browsers, the calendar. I close everything so that I've got maximum of stuff. And then I always do a quick test. So I'll try and enter the meeting about 10 minutes before, make sure the sound and the voice stuff's all working, even though the meeting isn't running yet, just so I'm sort of ready. So that's the tech side. And then what about if you like psychologically? I mean, how do you get yourself ready to shine as well as you do?
Well, first of all, with the tech side, if you're actually going to be doing a remote meeting with a client, normally I would suggest that we actually start at least 20 minutes before, so we're already up and running before we actually say live, because that will automatically get rid of your nerves when you've quickly gone through the slides, you've gone through the tech with the client, with the setup. That will mitigate your nerves probably 75%. In terms of the practical ritual, there are so many things you can do. I mean, one of mine is just simply put on some more lipstick. I always, you have your phone and your laptop. I have my lipstick here. But actually, I quite often go for a walk and make sure I have some headspace before sitting down and getting into the technical side of it. It's about just regrouping and centering your body, but I like to do things like yoga. I think in the past I wouldn't have been such a fan of having that breathing space, but I've just learned from experience, having physical breathing space to get your head in order, to get your voice in order, even do a few little vocal exercises, walk, get your body kind of pumping, get your blood flowing. It's really, really important, and you feel better, and your brain thinks that you're feeling better when your body is feeling better. So Lee, I know that you've probably got some very, some top secret exercises that you do.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things, really. I mean, I have a mini ritual for myself. And one of the things psychologically I've noticed, I found it fascinating presenting online, as we have been all doing so much more over the last few weeks,
Yeah.
is I over the last few decades have really developed a very strong habit or ritual, if you like, without really even realizing. So when I'm at a live event, there's all sorts of things that happen. So I know, I can tell when the previous speaker is coming to a close. So something in my body starts sort of going, oh, get ready to do your keynote, and then the host walks on stage and they take the microphone and you can almost time that to the millisecond. And I know, when I need to start walking, I know the person's coming to the last few seconds of my introduction. So, okay, I need to start walking now so that I'm on stage at exactly the right moment as the applause is happening. And whereas in the virtual world, I don't get any of that at all. And it's taking, I can't say I've 100% dominated it yet. So I'm having to relearn, how do I get myself at, if you like, performance energy without any of those cues that are happening.
It's kind of adrenaline, isn't it? It's the adrenaline rush.
Yeah, and the problem with adrenaline is if you get used to how the adrenaline affects you, you can learn to manage it over the years. So all performers know. I think most performers would say it's about 10 minutes before, that's when it really starts hitting, and that's when.
Yeah.
Now, what's happening, certainly for me with virtual stuff, is actually the adrenaline's hitting about 10 minutes into it now, right? Because sometimes I'm sitting,
your mind
like I'm
goes
sitting.
blank.
But I'd never do a keynote sitting, whereas quite often it's more appropriate to be sitting in virtual presenting, because I can't do all this stuff that I would do on stage. I'd look mental, if. So I've had to sort of give myself a little ritual 10 minutes before to get myself ready. And so I do a quick little vocal warm up. I move around a bit. I walk around my office here, just so that I'm sort of physiologically, psychologically, mentally ready to go. And I've had to learn how to do that over the last few weeks.
So I tell you what, can I ask you a favour, Lee? Can we do a whole tip just on vocal warm-ups? Because I would love to know your vocal warm-up.
Definitely.
I've got a whole plethora of things that I do to get myself in the mood and to get my voice ready. But I know that you're particularly good on voice, and you've got a particularly good voice too. Darling, listen to that. I mean, so should we do a whole tip on voice on a vocal warm-up?
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent.